With me now is Gary Naish, who has an alpaca farm in the southwest of England. So Gary, you've had alpacas for about 10 years now. Can you tell us a bit more about the fencing and field requirements for them?
Yes, you can keep alpacas 3 on half an acre, which is approximately the size of half a football field. You stock them at rates of between 5 and 6 an acre. So the more alpacas you have, the more land you need. You also need to make sure the field is securely fenced in. This is post and rail fencing, and we have livestock fencing behind. The one thing to make sure is that there's no barbed wire.
Okay. And what about the shelters?
This is an ideal field shelter. It's nice and light. An alpaca will not go into a dark area. So you need to make sure there's panels in the roof so that it's nice and light.
Gary, there are 2 different breeds of alpacas. Can you tell us the difference between the 2 of them?
Well, in here we have the Surrey alpaca, whose fleece grows down in dreadlock style, and the Wakaya alpaca, whose fleece grows out more like a sheep. The Surrey fleece is used mainly for woven materials, which is very silky, and the Wakaya alpaca is normally spun into yarn and then made into knitted products.
Okay. So having kept these animals for a long time, Gary, do you notice any difference temperament or behaviour-wise between them?
No, they are very similar in temperament. The one thing I will say is with the Surreys is that with the fringe comes down over their eyes, they do become quite skittish, so it is ideal to trim the fleece away from their eyes.
So is this shelter permanent, Gary?
This one's permanent, but you can make them mobile. This will overcome any issues you might have with the local planning authority and the planning restrictions.
Okay, great. So we don't have a pen here, but we need a pen for some further restraining, so we'll go and find one. So Gary, let's have a look at some of the features of these pens. These pens are ideal, I think.
They are. The hurdles are about 4 foot high, and they're 7 foot long, so therefore we have a pen big enough to get between 3 and 4 alpacas in. It's very important that you put more than 1 alpaca in, because they're herd animals. They get very stressed if they're left on their own.
And the height's important to prevent them jumping out?
Yep, you don't want them too low. You can get other hurdles, as in sheep hurdles. They are too low and the alpacas will jump out. It's also important to have them not so high that you can't interact with the alpaca over the top.
It's also important once you've finished handling the animals in the pen that you let them back out into the field as soon as you're done.